Gear Patrol calls their new dive watch the best sub-$500 dive watch. Full stop. Men's Health rated them as the most stylish solar watch in the game. Who are we talking about? It's Movement. They're leveling up your gift giving with the sleekest watches you can buy and the biggest deals of the season. Shop 30 to 50% off Movement's innovative California clean watches, jewelry, and accessories with fast free shipping and returns now at mvmt.com. That's mvmt.com.
Oh, it's me.
It's me.
We're all just looking at each other like, Wow. Hello, potted together friends. Wait, hey, I'm not done. Shut up. Hello, potted together friends. Welcome back to another new season of Potted Together.
Yeah.
Woohoo! I am Becca, and
Hi.
I'm joined by my co-hosts Adam and Nicole. We got the new season jitters. Say hello.
Hello.
Season 6.
Yeah, season 6 is crazy. That makes it sound like we've been doing this for a very long time, but it's been 3 years, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
We do
do
2
like-
seasons a year.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 6 seasons under our belt, 3 years of podcasting. And I have to say, I still love it. This is so
Yeah.
much fun.
Me too.
And we are starting this season with a bang because we actually have a topic pre-prepared.
Incredible.
Who are these
Whoa.
people? It's almost
Who are
as
we?
if taking a break is a good thing. I mean,
Yeah.
Who'd have thought?
Who would have thought?
So-
Who'd have thought you needed a mental rest?
yeah.
Some
so
would
thank
have
you
liked a
guys.
longer break, but here we are.
Yes, I
No,
think it
just
was a 2-week, 3-week break. And we still chatted about once a week somehow.
Yeah, it was enough of a
did.
break, though, that I forgot that we were going to record today, even though we talked last night about recording today. I was like, why isn't
Yeah, I called and Adam
why
was
is Nicole
like,
trying to FaceTime me?
"Oops."
Like, what?
Oh my God. Oh, well, yeah, we're glad to be back. We're excited. And yeah, honestly, we do feel very rejuvenated, which is always a good feeling. And we've got some really, oh my gosh, I keep hiccuping. I'm so sorry. We've got some really
That's
fun
okay.
stuff coming up this season. So today we're going to discuss like how to propagate from your collection for selling or trading, like how professionals do it. Because we got 2 pros here with us. Adam and Nicole have both done this many times. Adam actually got into a market. So got into like you like broke in or like you tricked people. So yeah, I have never done this. And I would really like to learn because who knows, maybe in the future I'll want to do it. Maybe in the future you will want to do it. So we're going to talk about that. It'll be more of an educational episode. But first, we got to catch up because it's been a while. For you guys at
Yeah, it
least,
has.
since you've heard us chatting
Yeah.
about our lives. So let's hear from Adam first.
Ooh, I don't know. Oh, what's been going on? Oh, we got an espresso machine, guys.
Oh, coming
Nespresso
over.
or espresso?
Espresso, like an actual like barista machine is in my kitchen. And I'm
Like the double handle
pulling
ones.
shots and yeah,
That's
making some
exciting.
dirty
Tapping it
chai.
out.
Oof, I love me a dirty chai.
Yeah. Yum.
Yeah, you know how Steve kind of like obsesses about. So like we got that nugget ice maker,
Yes.
Oh my God! Don't even talk to me about the nugget ice maker.
and then it
anymore.
went to like him being like, oh, I'd like an espresso machine. So I'm like, I'm all for it. You know what? Like, stop buying those bottles of tequila. Get us an espresso machine. Like, yes, I'll take it.
Yes. Yes.
That's really
Start your
fun.
day right.
Yeah, it's really fun in the morning to like just like pull a double shot, and I don't know. I feel like I've always wanted to be a barista. Like I've always wanted to work in a coffee shop. It's like,
Really?
yeah, I think that if I came into a situation where I was like older and like either lost my job or my job fired me or whatever, I feel like I'd try to go work at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
I can see that for you. Honestly, you do seem like someone who would work at a coffee shop. 100%.
Yeah, fun. It would be fun.
Or own one.
Or boba. Or
Half
own
plants,
one.
half coffee.
Well, yeah, that's always been my dream, is to have like an old service station. You know how they had like they were like a gas station, service station. So there's usually like 2 glass doors that like roll up. You know. And my thought was to have a coffee cafe / plant shop, either called Beans and Greens, or a double entendre, grounded, like grounded coffee, grounded plants.
You have thought
don't
about
tell people
I
this.
have.
Someone's gonna
No, it's
steal
mine,
your idea.
trademarked.
You already trademarked it. Okay, good.
I didn't, but
Yes, he did.
Don't tell people.
Lawyers
Yeah,
are involved.
he definitely trademarked it. Just
Anyway.
search it.
yeah, dreams. And I think they're going to be coming true somewhat because I am joining the green plant and going into business together.
You
Yes.
are
Selling
like
Hoya.
like for sure.
Yeah, well now for sure because it's out to the world.
That's so cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So it is exciting. This new year is
Wow.
bringing on a lot of like exciting things, but hopefully that will turn into like it's an online shop now selling lots of beautiful Hoya, and then maybe one day it'll be like an in-person shop
Yeah.
here in Arizona.
Oh my God.
But
That would be
she,
incredible.
she's had the green plant for a while now, right?
Yeah. So my friend Lydia started this when in like a little before the pandemic. And she's been doing it solo, and then she was like giving me all these free plants as gifts, and then I've grown them all out into these beautiful Hoya, and then she was like, oh, let's partner together so I can start cutting those plants that you grew that I gave you for free. No,
I love it. Like a
but she
true
didn't.
businesswoman.
But yeah, she's
Yes,
been
using you as
been
a
playing.
farm.
I keep telling her she's been playing the long game for 2 years because she's been giving me free Hoya
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah.
But
Oh my
yeah,
gosh, that's
it's
really
exciting.
exciting.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. So that's a catch up. I was like, I have nothing to talk about, but
Yeah,
I have
you
that to
do.
talk about.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. And you guys can do like pop-up events and oh my gosh, Adam, the road to self-employment.
Yes,
I
which is all we
know,
hope for.
I know.
For you.
Yeah. Good
Yes.
times. I'm excited.
That's
I'm
good.
excited about the future, and we'll see what this goes. And hopefully people still love Hoya.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, I don't think that's going away.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys think that the plant craze is like dying out or steady or ramping up? Like where do you guys think it is right now?
I mean, I feel like I'm far removed from the plant community, to be honest. I feel like I'm not really on my Instagram like I used to be. I'm not on YouTube like I used to be, like watching other creators. I don't know, my interests changed and I'm just not. So I don't really know. I'm not sure. I always feel like I'm out of the loop with everything, but that's just me.
I think it'll stay strong with like a group of people. But, you know, I see those posts on Facebook all the time. People are like, I've lost my love for plants, so I'm selling my whole collection kind of thing. But I feel like those are the people that maybe got into it for satisfying a very like immediate need. And maybe that was during the pandemic, the need of like, I need to do something because I'm going crazy sitting in this house all day long.
Yeah.
And now that need isn't so much there and the passion is gone. I don't know.
Yeah.
And the time, like, you're right. A lot of people got into it during the pandemic. Everybody was home, and it may have become overwhelming when they had to go back to work. And yeah.
But I do think that there will always be a group of people that are still into it. And I think I'll be one of those people. Like, I've hopped hobbies my whole life, and this is the only one that I've been like multiple years carrying on and still like enjoy doing.
That's true. I feel the same way, actually.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like plants are going to be a constant in my life no matter what. the amount I have is probably going to drop depending on where I'm living and like life circumstances. But I think that the underlying like enjoyment and like fulfillment that plants bring will always be a thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like, yeah, that will be the case for people who plants have truly like touched and like it's unlocked something within them. And there's nothing wrong with not having that. But I feel like if that has been your situation, then like you can't imagine your life ever without them, even if it's like 5 rather than 100, you know?
Yeah. I don't think about this a lot, but my friend Zach went with me. He's my friend that lived in Illinois, and I moved him out here, helped him move out here last year. He went with me on a trip to California with my friends Lydia and Jesse. And Lydia, Jesse, and I all met each other through the plant community. Like, we're all plant people. And Zach likes plants, but not like he's not our level of plants. And there was a couple moments during that trip where he was like, I feel like I need to find a hobby that I care about as much as like what you guys care about plants, because he's like, you guys have so much joy surrounding this. And then I was like, yeah, you're right. Like, if I didn't have that, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'd be filling my time with something else, but it would be a lot less joyful. Like, I've met you guys through this community. I've met my good friends here in Arizona through this community, and like, it's bettered my life so much.
Yeah.
And it started out as like a hobby,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it like you said, like with the hobby comes that community. And that's such a special part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that was kind of off topic. I feel like that could be its own episode. Just like the future of plant collecting. You know? What does
There
it
you go.
look like?
Next week. Stay tuned. We're on a roll.
Man, all these ideas. Wow.
Nicole, you and this get up that you're in with the hoodie over. Every once in a while I glance at the screen. I'm like, it looks like Logan is on our FaceTime. Like, because it's like the fucking vibes with the hoodie over and just being like real.
Oh my
Fucking
gosh.
vibes. I'm cold. It's cold up here.
Shout out to
and
Logan.
I have a cold. Shout out to Logan.
Okay. I'm done with my catch up. Somebody else talk.
Okay, I'll go. Hi, guys. I'm sick again. I can't seem to stay healthy. Happy New Year. It's crazy, though, because I'm pretty freaking careful and I don't have much of a social life. So when I get sick, I'm like, how did this happen? And like when I'm at weddings and I'm in like a bigger crowd of people, or like it's the dance floor time and I have to like squeeze in between people, I have a mask on. So like, I don't know, it could be anything really, but I got sick earlier this week and I thought for sure it was COVID again. So I took a test and it was not, thank God. But
Thank goodness, yeah.
Yeah. But you know what I've realized? It's like every time you get sick, it's just never a good time to get sick. Like Jay's like, I have such a big session coming up, I can't get sick. Or like, we have the holidays, we can't get sick, But like when I got sick this time, I was like, oh, I have nothing to do. I have nothing in the next 2 weeks. So I can actually be sick and like rest and not worry about having to work. And that recovery is totally different when you're in panic mode, like worried about work. It's kind of crazy. So this wasn't that bad. Like I'm still coughing, but it's totally tolerable.
Yeah.
Like I'm still functioning,
Yeah. Do you think you got better faster because you could rest and not worry about things?
I think so.
Yeah.
I do think so. I had a lot of editing to do, like some backup editing, but that just required me to just like sit down and edit and put some movies on. Like I'm not like physically working a wedding, So yeah, I do think that that's what it is. So like, here's my message to you guys during this new year. If you happen to get sick because it is the flu season and it's crazy out there right now, take some freaking time off of work. Like work can wait. Like, I mean, I can't really say that because I'm a wedding photographer, but like, if you can call off of work, stay home for a few days and just rest because your body needs it.
Yeah. For sure.
But I don't know.
It sucks that we live somewhere where that's like not a priority. Like if you're
It really
sick,
does.
you have to like power through. It's just like you just don't heal as fast because you're worried and stressed and
Well, and I think the whole working from home thing is makes having like that boundary even worse. Because like I
It
don't
is,
feel
yeah.
great. Like right now, today, like Steve is sick, so then I'm like, well, I'm definitely gonna get sick.
Yeah.
New Year, same shit.
Yep.
She's back. I said
Sorry.
I said New Year, same shit.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna update it after the call.
You're fine. But like since I'm work from home, I feel like I can pull myself and sit in an office chair and be miserable sitting there. And I feel like I
Yeah.
have to, or that's expected of me. Like I can't really take a sick day because it's like I don't have to get dressed to go into an office. I don't have to be around other people. So I'm like, but that's kind of crappy because that's not how we should be.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, for
So
sure.
then like if you work from home, like what's a sick day? Like
Yeah.
you either sit in the office chair working or you sit on the couch watching TV. It's like it's very easy to like convince yourself to still work even though you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I still was editing weddings, and I was still answering emails, and we're still doing podcast stuff and like Patreon stuff. So yeah, there is still work involved, but it's just not like physical labor,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, it's been pretty chill. Like after Thanksgiving, it's just been kind of like catching up on my other business side of things. And we're doing some fun stuff over on Patreon, which at this point would have already happened. We had a party over there, which was a lot of fun, wasn't it, guys? It was great.
Yeah,
You
it
can
was
still
so much
watch it
fun.
if you join Patreon. You can still watch the
Yeah, you
party.
can go watch it. It's posted over there. There'll be a link. But yeah, it's been kind of chill, which I like this time of the year. I really do. Like I look forward to the down season. Money's a little tighter because there's no business, but like we save for it, and it's just kind of like, okay, take it easy, you know, relax
Yeah.
and go with the flow. It's cold outside, so we're not going out there.
Oh my
Why not?
gosh.
Oh.
It's cold in Arizona too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little chilly. I mean, I might need a jacket, but
It's like 70s,
Like
Just a
rainy
light-
though.
70s, 60s.
I saw
Yeah,
that
it's
it's been raining.
it was raining a lot, but I was gone in California when that was happening, so.
Oh, okay.
Lucky you.
Anytime it rains in Arizona in the winter, like that is like it's like a snow day basically. That's like, nah, today's winter. Okay, everybody
Yeah.
shut down.
Yeah.
Stay home.
Shut down. That's so funny.
Yeah. It's been like, I mean, it feels to me like it's cold, but it's been in like the 40s and 50s here.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's cold. It is winter, but like, then I'm reminded that is just definitely not winter here. It gets
We're
much
actually-
colder.
Yeah, we're actually not. It's still considered fall, which is so stupid. It's like fall till the end of December, but it's like, come on. The Christmas decorations are up. It's winter. you know? But I hear it's supposed to be a pretty bad winter, according to the Farmer's Almanac.
Yeah.
Whatever dude wrote that, I don't know, but it's supposed to be bad.
I have also heard that. I'm not. Am I looking forward to it? I don't know. I hope that it snows a lot. That's my hope for this winter, because I like when it snows, because then it's like it's cold for a reason. If it's not snowing, then it's just ugly. Like
Yeah.
I haven't seen the sun in probably a week. Now that I think about it,
Yeah.
probably. I don't know about you,
Yikes.
Nicole. I mean, I know it's
Wait.
sunny
Yeah,
in
it's the
Arizona,
same.
so don't even
Yeah.
bother rubbing it in our faces.
No, it's the same over here. It's been very cloudy to the point where it looks like it's going to snow, but it's still too warm to snow. We've had a couple like rain days. Oh, it rained here the other day, and we have those like Christmas blow-ups in the front of the house. And somehow water got inside of them and it froze because it rained and then it immediately froze.
No.
And like, so we have like a 10-foot, 12-foot Grinch. He's huge. And he was like half up, and my mom was flipping out. It's fucking broken. What are we going to do? These are so expensive. Rah, rah, rah. And I'm like, oh, God, here we go. Happy holidays, everyone.
Oh.
Happy holidays.
But we managed to like shake out the ice, and then it was fine. But
And then he
That's so
inflated.
and then he inflated.
Oh my gosh. One of my favorite things, like it's just like a funny thing that I've noticed is, you know, like when you're around your family and around Christmas and like people start fighting, there's always Christmas music playing in the background. So like over the sound of Christmas, it's like there's a soundtrack in the background of people fighting, and I'm like, this is Christmas. This is really it.
This is Christmas.
This is the meaning of Christmas.
Yeah.
Every time it happens, it's just so funny. It oftentimes happens in a car. I've noticed with my family, my parents argue in the car all the time because my dad is a crazy driver. My mom has PTSD from car accidents, so they're always like on edge.
No.
And anyway, it's just really funny. Like
It's the most
people are
wonderful time.
Wonderful
of the
time
year.
of
and it's like people being like, "You're the worst driver in the world. I can't believe I even let you drive."
What the fuck, Dwayne?
It's just so funny. Oh, it makes me laugh every time.
That's good. Becca, we need a greenhouse update.
No.
Yes.
Oh no, is it not good?
There is no
We
greenhouse
don't want
update.
a greenhouse update.
What's the greenhouse update? Well, we need to hang up and install the heater, and we need to rewire the exhaust fan.
Oh, the one that
And
you
put it
paid
up.
someone to come out to wire?
I didn't pay him to do it. He said that he would come back, and he never did. Which, like, I'm like, okay, good.
Oh.
Because I was done with him anyway. Like,
Yeah.
I was done.
Oh.
He just, he did the job, but that's about it, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that has not happened yet. So, heating and cooling is not in the greenhouse. It's cold outside. And the sun has not been out. So, if there's a sunny day, then I think it's plausible that we could do it. But, like, it's cold. Don't go do it right now, Daniel. Don't be a martyr. Like, don't. You're supposed to be resting.
Or you
Go
can.
lay down.
Am I a dog?
Yes, go lay down.
Good boy.
Good boy.
You're so brave.
I'm just kidding, Dan. I love you.
Piss in your bed.
He said he's going to piss in my bed.
It's gonna fart.
Okay,
Close the
earlier
door.
I kicked Cooper in the head on accident, and I told him that he was so brave, and Adam thinks that's just hilarious. Oh, you're so brave.
It was like the whole like I'm so sorry, Koopy, come here. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Mwah, 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 mwah. You're such a brave boy. It was the whole thing.
Okay, yeah, you just made it sound so much worse. If anybody ever doubts that I love my dogs, just refer to this moment, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, but yeah, so that's the greenhouse update. The benches, definitely, I could be building the benches right now. I'm not. So that's just where we're at. That
Okay.
is where we're at. I'm kind of at a point where I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. To be honest, I regret building it because we're moving like sooner than I thought. It's just, I feel like this was a waste of my time and money, but I gained a lot of experience, so it's worth it in that. But like, my YouTube videos on the greenhouse do not do well. Like, people are like done. You know what I mean? Like, I just get the feeling that it's like people are used to things like that being cranked out in like a weekend.
Yeah, because
And-
HGTV shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's no, and this isn't like criticizing anybody who watches my videos by any means, but I bet you if I had like a full like start to finish build video, that would have been way more popular than like part 1, part 2, part 3. just because that's how people consume content now. Like they're not like DIY Danny made a greenhouse. She's another YouTuber, way bigger than my channel, definitely bigger. But like her videos were extremely popular and like everyone was referring me to her. And like the reason that her greenhouse went up so fast was because it's like a fraction of the size of mine. Number one, like I built a huge greenhouse for what? Like why? But yeah, it takes time when you aren't an experienced builder and you're working like mostly on weekends.
Yeah.
Or by yourself. It's just, I underestimated how long it would take. And like for the situation we're in, the amount of time it's taking, I think is like relatively normal. But just given how fast paced the internet expects everything, it's been really slow. And I think people have lost interest. Like, I'm going to say the general, like there's definitely like a few people out there who are like very much intrigued still. But like most people are like, okay, this is still going on. Like, where's the final result? I'm done with this, you know, which I get it.
Yeah.
I do. I'm also a consumer of content, but.
Well, I also want to say, like, I think you do need to keep focusing on the fact that you've learned a lot. Like, I know you said that because ultimately that's the best part of it is just like learning. But like, it's still beautiful. It's still a gorgeous greenhouse. And whether you're moving or not or what happens, like someone's going to get like in a really amazing, well-built structure, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I've definitely learned a lot. I feel like if I did one on a smaller scale, it would be a lot easier and faster. And maybe I'll do that again in the future. But I feel like in the future, I'm just going to buy like a prefabricated, like the one that Garden Answer has, that big one she had. Not the Hartley, but the other one. It's like aluminum frame with the plastic wrap. Like that just seems so much easier, you know? So I've learned my lesson there, and that's fine. But yeah, lessons have been learned. It's not, it'll get done before winter's over, maybe, but it's really just interior work that's left. So if we get the heating and cooling in, then for sure I can finish it this winter. But that's been the question now is like rewiring that. Like, should I just buy a new one so I don't have to worry about that? Just buy it new, put it in, because it's like what's holding us up is the rewiring.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Is that the one that you got from someone?
yeah, it was free. And those things are like $800. Like they're not cheap. But at this point, I'm like, is it worth losing time on the greenhouse to like wait to rewire this, or should I just get it done? You know, I've even considered like hiring a handyman just to be like, hey, come out for 2 days, finish it. I will be ready to enjoy it, you know?
Yeah.
It might be worth it, at least in time, in like your time, you know, like you don't have to worry about it or anything.
Yeah. And like given certain circumstances, I don't have time to do that. Like it's a lot.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of where my thought process is right now. We will see, like maybe between now and when this episode airs, more will happen, but you'll have to stay tuned on YouTube.
That's right.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, there's really not a lot going on. I decorated my front door for Christmas. I mean, Christmas is like long gone at this point you're hearing this, but I did that today and it's very beautiful. It's so cute. I've never decorated outside my front door besides like a wreath. And it's very cute. I really like it. I got garlands from Lowe's and yeah, we're visiting home. We're visiting Tucson for Christmas, hopefully, and it'll be nice to be in the heat again for a period of time.
That's right.
It's always nice in Arizona around Christmas.
Yes.
It is, because it's like you get the decorations, you get the feel of Christmas, but it's also like you're not bundled up and you can actually enjoy outdoor decorations and like going places.
Yeah, it's like 60 degrees. Which is the best.
The best.
Yep.
Cozy season is in full swing, and what better way to enjoy it than in luxury loungewear? Cozy Earth crafts luxury goods that transform your life, and they've even been featured on Oprah's favorite things. And honestly, I completely understand why. They're also on my list of favorite things. This winter, I've been living in my lounge set, and I love that I never overheat. Even when I'm wrapped up in my flannel sheets, sleeping all night, I never feel overheated, which is really awesome. All of their products are made from responsibly sourced viscose from bamboo, which is known for its softness and breathability. It also makes it perfect for loungewear and also for bedding, which Cozy Earth also has. So if you're looking for loungewear that is comfortable while also looking nice, Cozy Earth is the place to go. Cozy Earth gave us an exclusive offer for Potted Together listeners, which is 35% off site-wide when you use the code Potted Together, all in one word. Again, that is 35% off site-wide when you use the code POTTEDTOGETHER. We are going to move into our episode, which, as I said before, is about how to propagate from your collection for selling or trading. So basically, Adam and Nicole both do this, and they're really good at it, and I just wanted to pick their brains on how they do it. So first of all, my question is, how do you know a good mother plant? Because you want to have a good mother plant to pull from, right? Because then the pups will be better. So like, what is your process for that, for deciding this is a plant that I'm going to do this with? Like, what are the characteristics of that plant?
I feel like I mainly have Hoya. So like any large plant can be a good mother plant. So
Yeah.
I don't know, that's kind of hard because it would be a whole different thing with like aeroids and anthuriums and stuff. But there are specific mutations in Hoya, like splash, that like having a very splashy mother plant would give you a better chance of having like if you take a propagation of that, like continuing that splash on somewhere else, like in another plant. Because I just basically grow my plants out big and then start chopping them. Just chopping them all down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have Hoya. I've only done it with Hoya as well. I feel like I posted online, I sold plants twice, and in one of the sales, I did include I want to say a philodendron, but I don't think it sold. So it was mainly Hoya that I sold. But also like making sure it's pest free would probably be like my number one thing.
The mother plant. Yeah.
The mother plant, yeah.
Okay.
I
So
think
like healthy, robust mother plant with like the best characteristics of the plant you're trying to put forth.
yeah.
Right.
And I think that like Hoya just go a lot. The turnaround from like taking a propagation to that propagation rooting and growing is so much quicker than you would for like an aeroid.
Yeah.
Like I would say a Hoya can root and start a new growth point within 2 weeks, and that's just not going to happen with an aeroid. Well, usually, you know.
Like most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that I feel is in any medium, soil, moss, water. It's pretty easy to propagate Hoya, most Hoya.
Yeah.
Okay, so how are you propagating them then? So we're going to focus mostly on Hoya.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I feel
with
like-
aeroids,
I feel bad.
well, no, you shouldn't, because that's your experience. Aeroids, it's a similar process with aeroids. It just takes longer, let's say.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
need more space.
And yeah, you need more space because aeroids tend to be bigger, leafier situations. And regarding aeroids, there's specific places that you have to cut them, which is important. You have to have an aerial
Correct.
root, and you have to know how to propagate and divide that specific plant. So it's a little bit more complicated in that. But as far as Hoya go, you can cut them anywhere on the stem and they'll root, right? And that's why that's such a good plant to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I did get an aeroid. I do have a Anthurium magnificum, a huge one that I was given free by someone. So now I'm like, well, I got to figure out how to take care of it.
Oh.
Oof, it's big. It is so
Nice.
big. But anyway,
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
I'll-
Did you post it?
I think just in stories at one point.
Okay.
But yeah. Anyway, propagating. When I was starting out propagating, just selling things like just really quickly, like Facebook purges or that kind of stuff, like not a lot, not like on a high scale. I was just using my regular shelves that I have my plants on and those grow lights and just a plastic Tupperware bin from Target and little clear 3-ounce cups. Like that's all I was doing. That's all I still am doing.
That's what I
It's
do.
just a little more. There's a little more containers involved now, but that's still my method. It's super simple. It is so simple. De La Tanks was my preferred method, but now that this is a business and you have overhead costs, now you got to start thinking about the cheap and
Yeah.
fast way to do things. So I'm working my way through my De La Tanks supply, and then I'm using Cocoa Choir and Perlite.
Yeah, that's good.
Boom. Super simple.
Very cheap.
Yeah.
Nice.
But this thing is still the same. I found these containers, like as I've moved on for propagating, I've realized like, okay, well, these containers are letting a bit too much light in. You know, like I noticed my new growth was kind of looking a little chlorotic. Like if a Hoya put out a new leaf under the lights, it was like very light green and not cute. I mean, they do usually deepen in color once you move them out of that environment. But I found these other containers that have like a frosted lid. So light still gets through, but it's very diffused. And I was like, this is like perfection, you know? So literally it's 3-ounce cups, usually 1-node cuttings, put them in that container, set them on the shelves and give them the grow light like 12 hours a day. And that's it.
Any heating mat or anything like that?
No, because I think that it's so funny, the room, because I don't have them out in the main living room anymore. I have them in the spare bedroom, and the room is like cold when I go in there in the morning, but when I go in to shut the lights off at night, it's like toasty because like the lights kind of heat up, and then it just like everything causes it to be like warm in there. So I think the lights are enough being in the Tupperware, like not being open to open air, like being closed into like those containers, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, I would assume that would be the case for you because you're in like a warmer climate. For me, I would have to have them on a heating mat, especially like this time of year, because our house is only like at 68 degrees, which is fine for house plants, but like to grow cuttings, I feel like they need that little extra boost. So
Yeah.
I have mine on a grow mat, but I think it all just depends on, you know, what the climate is inside your home at the time you're doing it.
Yeah. And where do you get these supplies? 'Cause I think we should put together a shopping list for this like starter kit, because it sounds like you're using just like a storage bin. Like it's nothing super expensive by any
No.
means.
No, it's not.
I used to just get like clear bins, like short, like they're probably so like maybe 5 to 6 inches tall. Maybe like 5 to 8 inches tall. So they're like short, wide bins that I got from Target. But the ones I fell in love with, we got at Ace Hardware, and then they were on sale at the Container Store. But basically any bin would work. These ones are a little, because it's the frosted lid. The frosted lid, I mean, I freaking love that. It's so nice.
Yeah. Makes a difference.
But I keep all those bins on a shelf that you get at like Target that you would put in your garage, like those wire utility shelves, you know? I have 2 of those. I zip tied grow lights. I use the Minos L or Barinas, and I have them zip tied to those shelves, and I just put the containers on there, and that's my setup.
Yeah.
It's,
Is that the ones that we all have? The grow lights we all have?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I have those in my greenhouse cabinet. They're very strong. Very strong.
They are. You know, they went up to like $100.
Yeah.
I got mine for 70, I want to say, or like 65
Yeah.
when I first got them. They're on sale right now for like 70 on Amazon. But yeah, they went up like a lot. I was like, that's a big price hike, but they're great lights.
And
Yeah, they are.
Barina as well makes grow lights that are very similar. I mean, I feel like it's the same exact product, just a different brand. So maybe if those are cheaper, but yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that I use are from the Container Store, and they're just clear bin shoe boxes. And they're super cheap. I just looked it up right now, and one of them with the lid is like $5.
Okay.
If you get a smaller, that's like for like an adult male shoe.
Yeah.
If you get like a smaller box, it's like $2.50. But yeah, it's so inexpensive.
Yeah. And also, I'm thinking for the frosted top, like if you can't find or access these specific totes that they're referring to that we're going to link, you could buy like probably like spray paint to frost the top. Like there's like frosted spray paint.
Or like window film, like the frosted window film.
Yeah. There's definitely things that you can do to like shade them a little bit. I mean, if you could like just lower them so they're not so close. That might not be possible given your shelf situation. So yeah, that's a good tip. Okay, so we will link the bins, the lights, the cups, the heat mats, etc. Like based on your location. I mean, I would definitely use heat mats where I live. My house is usually like 65 degrees through the winter. And I think that's a little cold to be activating new growth. So I personally would. But given your, like, you guys know your home environment better than we would. So with anything regarding houseplants, like you can learn these things from us and adapt it for yourself. So don't expect that like Adam's and Nicole's routine is going to work perfectly for you. You kind of have to experiment, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so as far as cut to sell timeline, like when do you know a plant is ready and like stable enough? Because I'm sure that we've all received a plant that was underrooted or underdeveloped and not ready to be sold, but it was, and maybe it perished or took a really long time because it was jostled around. You know, it was just kind of shocked. So what is the timeline? Or like what signs do you, maybe not necessarily timeline, but what signs do you look for when you know a plant is ready to be sold?
I mean, me personally, I think what we look for would be roots. You can always see the roots in the cup because they're clear cups, you know, so you can see the roots on the outside. And if you have a good root system, but I also always like to see like a new growth point starting, you know, like a new little nubbin coming out. But sometimes if I don't see roots, I just kind of give the cutting a little tug to make sure that like some roots are going somewhere in that cup, even though I can't see them. They haven't reached the sides or the bottom of the cup. But I mean, honestly, that happens in like a couple weeks with Hoya, particularly. Like, boom. In those containers with the blasted humidity and the warmth, like they just get rocking and rolling pretty quickly.
Okay, so a developed root system. Are you looking for it to completely fill up that cup or just you can see them in the cup?
I think you can see them is usually what I go for, not filling up the cup.
Okay. Okay, so you can see the roots growing in the cup and there's, to be absolutely safe, there's a new growth point happening.
Yeah, I do like to see a little new growth point starting, you know?
Yeah, I would, if I was buying, I would like to see that too. I mean, that's what when I'm out plant shopping, I always look to see if the plant is currently pushing new growth because that usually means it's mostly healthy. You know, I mean, you never really know.
It's a good sign, yeah.
And my next question is, what are you doing to make sure that the plants are pest free? Because independent sellers, I mean, pests are inevitable, right? And I feel like there aren't very many checks and balances for that situation. I've been into many nurseries where the plants are absolutely infested. And
yeah,
there's really no way of like keeping places accountable. Like how can you, I don't know, it's just like a hard thing to walk into a nursery and see plants infested, etc. So like what are you doing, since it's a smaller scale, you can control it a lot easier. What are you doing to make sure that those plants are not, to your knowledge, pest infested?
Yeah. Well, we full on like microscope literally everything, and I continue to do that to this day. Like my actual collection plants I'm propagating, but I also use beneficials, and I have been for the past like 7 months. It is wild because, you know, if you throw one of those little satchels of beneficial bugs, the slow release, meaning there's some like eggs in there, there's some larvae, there's some adults in one of those prop bins, because the humidity is so high inside those things. Dude, those bugs they are just like thriving in there, and they are just the little army.
They're like, thank
yeah,
you.
like I will open that box and you can't see a lot of beneficial bugs with your eyes that well, but sometimes you can, especially if there's like large groups of them. And I can just see like a whole party on a leaf just like cruising around trying to find something to chomp on. So
Nice.
but I make sure I'm also like going through the stock plants, and we are making like Lydia has really helped me make sure that they're all clean and using any kind of pest management chemicals to get them clean. Because, you know, my flat might, because a lot of the Hoya that I sell and that we are selling is for my own collection. It's not like they're like in my house and I'm loving them every day. It's not like I have like some sort of warehouse where I just, these are going to be here and they're going to grow and I'm going to cut them. Like, these are actually my personal plants that I bought for my personal plants that I can share now.
Right.
So making sure that those are treated regularly. And I'm doing the sulfur thing, but now I've started using this Pure Crop 1, which is almost like it's a systemic. Well, not just a systemic, but can be used as a systemic. It's really kind of an amazing product, but you can look into it. It's really cool. And I think it kills mites too. It's a systemic that kills mites. So it's like kind of very expensive, but also like, if this works, it's a miracle. It's like a miracle in a bottle in my mind.
Yeah, because then you can get away with beneficials and, you know, doing the hot water submersion. I forget what it's called. I mean, that's the flat mites is one of the reasons why I haven't done a sale in a long time. Is when I first noticed them, I was like, okay. And I haven't really been mentally there to be able to like focus on my plants and like ridding all the flat mites. So I just can't. I'm not going to sell plants until I get that under control. But yeah, I have them. So
I think we all do.
I'd be interested in
Yeah,
them.
I think everyone does.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, so you're being responsible, but I've bought some Hoya off Facebook, and they had flat mites, and I let the person know, even though I don't do that because like that makes me cringe. Be like, just buy FYI, and the people are like, oh, okay, thank you, and then they start selling plants again the next week, and I'm like, okay, well, you're just continuing this reinfestation.
Yeah.
Like, you have them. Your plants you're selling has them.
And the thing about
yeah.
The thing about it is that they're not like those disgusting pests like aphids or mealybugs where you, like you said, you can see them with your eye. Like, you really don't see them. So that's how people are probably getting away with it. But it does affect growth. It causes that knobby growth, and it's just not cute. So yeah, people shouldn't be doing that.
Once you know what the growth looks like when a plant has it, you can't unsee it. It's like,
right.
I went to a nursery in Minneapolis, and every single Hoya was absolutely infested. And I'm like, I mean, they didn't even look good, you know, because they were so badly infested. I don't know if the people who worked there knew, or maybe they just thought, oh, it's a humidity issue, or they're not getting as frequent watering, because that's what we all thought was the reason for Hoya leaf drop.
Or they're just like, Hoyas just are so slow at growing, you know?
Yeah. Which is really not true in a lot of cases.
They grow fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that it's definitely important. Just do preventatives, even if you think that your plant is pest free. There's nothing wrong with doing a preventative. Just regular maintenance if you're doing beneficials. If you want to do a systemic insecticide, which is what I do. I mean, as soon as I stop doing a systemic, I can tell. Like, I get spider mites. Like, they're just waiting in the wings, you know, constantly. So especially if you have a larger collection, and especially if you're selling from that collection, like you really want to be giving out plants that are healthy, happy, because this is people's money at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And your integrity, your hard work, etc. I mean, have some pride for what you do, you know?
You know?
You know?
Oh.
Okay, so when it comes to actually selling the plants, what is the process for that? Like, I want to hear photographing, I want to hear description, where you sell them, how you price. Like, I know that's a lot, so we can break that down even further. But first of all, I want to hear, like, how are you photographing these so that people know the actual size? Because I think that's always a problem is people will buy a plant not, and this is also user error, like that's their own damn fault, but they buy a plant not fully realizing the size.
Yeah.
And because these cuttings are very small, naturally they're going to get big, but they start off as like 2 or 3 leaves. So like, how are you photographing and like putting it out there that these are for sale?
I'll say how I do it, and then maybe you can say how you do it. Like, for starters, I learned most of what I did from Adam, so it's probably the same process. But I think that those Dixie cups really kind of show the size of the plant. Like, if you know that little Dixie cup, like, you're going to know it's a smaller cutting. But I just make sure that like the photo's pretty clear. Like, I usually just do it on my countertop in my kitchen against the white tile so that you can like fully see the plant. I use my iPhone, like straight up use my iPhone. And then I put a description like I use Instagram stories. So like I'll put a description on that photo of the name of the plant and like how many cuttings are in there. Cause there's been times where I did like 2 cuttings in 1 Dixie cup. And then I'll just put a little box that says make an offer, because I personally like, it's not really worth my time investigating and doing research on how much a plant is worth. And I also feel like one plant can be worth so many different prices. And I don't know, maybe it's just like laziness on my part, but I just don't want to take the time to research that. So I'll just say make an offer. And at the end of either like a 10-hour period or an 8-hour period, from whenever I post it, I'll go back and look through and just give it to the best offer. If I notice like someone's kind of making like offers on a lot, and like sometimes I'll be like, okay, like you can't just take the whole, like other people want them. So like I'll give it to somebody else. Like I try to play fair. But that's pretty much all I do. And again, I've only done this twice, so I'm not a pro, and it's not necessarily something that'll work for everybody, but it worked for me both times. And
Yeah.
I thought that the price was a pretty fair point for all of them. There was one, I can't remember the cutting, but I went and looked it up and it was like $50. It was like worth, quote unquote. It was worth like $50 more than I sold it for. But like, I don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Having an idea of what it could be worth is good, so that you're not lowballing yourself. But at the same time, if this isn't like your career, it's like,
right.
I'm just wanting to get rid of these. I'm just trying to make a few extra bucks. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
And then
need,
also, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, it doesn't need to be this whole thing where you're like doing a ton of market research, especially if you're doing something casual like Instagram story sales. If this is more like something where you're like driving income from this, I think that definitely that's important to do. But if like, I wouldn't do that. I would just be like, it's $15. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And I also add on there, like I make sure to mention, like it'll be an extra $10 for shipping. Sometimes that's caused me an issue where like it costs maybe $15 to ship it, because shipping it is a whole other thing. You know, like you need the packaging supplies. You need to make sure that it's not going to like bounce around the box. You need to make sure that it's being shipped in the climate it's in, maybe you need a heat pack. You need to make sure that you're shipping it within like 2 days, 3 at the most, which the post office is like kind of iffy now, especially with the holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Hoya tend to hold up very well in the mail, though, I will say, because I've ordered Hoya where it's taken like 10 days to get to me and it arrived perfectly. So that's another reason why I felt so confident in selling Hoya through the mail, because I just know it's a hardier plant and it's just easier to ship in general. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I do.
Yeah. And that all, I think, like, even Facebook purges, like, if you are a person that has Facebook and you've been on the plant groups like US Hoya Market or things like that, you can see how other people do purges. That's because there's always, like, throughout a week, there's multiple people selling plants on there. And usually there's, like, even rules to the group that tells you, like, okay, this is what you have to list, where you're shipping from, how much your shipping is going to be. So usually, personally, I just did like $13 to $15 shipping and handling, because that handling counts for like your supplies. The boxes you can get free from the post office, which is nice. You can just get
You told
can
me
order
that
them free at your house.
after-
Like, you can just go onto USPS.com and place an order for like small priority boxes. Boom, and they'll just bring them to your house.
Yep.
That's amazing.
But
Also, just
didn't
reusing
know that.
boxes you get.
yes.
I'm getting a lot of packages for Christmas, so you can just reuse a lot.
Yeah, and you can even order priority mail, because you're going to want to ship them priority, but you can order priority mail labels. So if you just use a brown box, just slap the priority mail label on there, you know?
Exactly.
All of this stuff. So that's something you can do if you're interested in. With prices, I usually look up the plant in other Facebook groups, but this is my, like, I'm not good at this part of it. I love propagating plants. I love growing them. But the whole admin side, not my thing. Like, I baby these Hoya like you wouldn't. Every day I'm in there. I open up the containers. I fan them so they get a fresh oxygen to turn it into carbon dioxide. Like, all of this stuff. I'm like talking to them every morning. But the whole like price research, that's not my thing. But you can usually find a good, like, you can just search for what it was sold for recently in Facebook groups, that kind of stuff. Or just like
Etsy.
Yeah, Etsy, or choose your own price. You know, like, if you're not doing it to make like a living, and you just need a couple extra dollars, like what is that cutting worth to you? Like, what would you spend on it? Price it at that. You know, don't stress about it.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, in the past when I've thought about, I always like take pictures of plants to sell and then I never actually do. I'm like, okay, I don't know why I don't. I just don't do it. But I just like Google the plant and look at the shopping tab, and then I like look at, there's usually like a median, or not a median, but like an average number that the plants are being priced around. But like the plant market price really depends on your location too.
Yeah.
Because when I lived in Tucson, Hoya were never in big box stores or nurseries. It was not a popular plant, but Hoya were extremely popular. And so for me, I would have paid a lot of money for a Hoya cutting that perhaps now in Missouri, Hoya are very accessible. I would never pay that now because it's accessible to me at a different price. So yeah, at the end of the day, just price it at what you think is fair, because it's going to be different for everybody. Someone's going to think it's a deal and someone else is going to think you're ripping people off. Like, it's just, the market is so different based on where you live.
So true.
You touched on shipping. I mean, we don't need to go too far into that, but you said priority mail always, like 2 to 3 days at most, hopefully.
Yeah, just in case it gets held up.
And also, like, hot take, I'm going to say something brave yet controversial. I think heat packs are bullshit. I got to be honest. I think
really.
I think
well, they can
heat packs
be.
can work if people do them correctly, but the amount of people who do them correctly it's pretty nil. Like, it's pretty low. Literally, just buy some of that insulation, that silver insulation, and wrap your plants in that, and put them in the box, and then everything will be fine.
It looks like the window shield, right?
Yeah, it's like silver foil.
Yes.
Like I think people use them to wrap pipes and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you can find them,
Yeah.
rolls of them in all the big box stores, you know?
Yeah. And like Adam said, put all of those expenses into your shipping, because it's shipping and handling.
Yeah.
Like, don't eat cost on shipping and packaging materials. Like, just don't. It's not worth it. Like, I would rather pay more for shipping knowing that the plant is going to arrive well packed and correctly packed than
Right.
one time I ordered a plant and it arrived in a literal tissue box wrapped in toilet paper.
Yeah.
A Hoya. And
I
like,
remember that.
it sucks. Like, that sucked. The plant never recovered. It still looks like shit, to be honest. And that was years ago.
Yeah.
So, and that's probably my fault, to be honest, because I'm sure that Adam or Nicole could have brought it back to life. Anyway, point is, I would have paid extra if it meant that I got a real box.
Yeah. an actual box.
A real box. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's really important. And I'm pretty sure, I know that I have a video on packing plants. Nicole, do you have a video of you packing plants?
I think it's very old.
Yeah, mine's old as well, but it's still relevant. So I'll see if I can find those. We can link those too, or just we'll find other resources, because I think that's like a whole thing. You need to visually see it.
And I have a video
but-
of propagating Hoya, which is my method I still use. So that's good.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're just going to compile a bunch of resources for you guys so that you can use this for yourself. And again, you don't need to start a plant business. This could just be your way of managing your collection and keeping it to a manageable size and making a little extra, because you could definitely make back the amount you spent on a plant with cuttings.
Yes.
I mean, you could definitely make it back. Like, particularly if you have like if you really spent a lot of money on like a Albo Monstera, you sell 2 cuttings and you have your money back, right? And like, you're spreading the plant, you're making it more accessible by putting more cuttings out there that are reasonably priced, hopefully. And you're getting your money back, and the plant is going to grow back. That is the thing with propagating, is the plant will grow back. It's not going to be like stumpy forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to propagate your plants. I think that's my number one advice for anybody out there. Even if you're not making money off of it, you're bringing it to swaps or you're just giving it to people, the plant will grow back.
Yes, it will.
So do you guys have any last thoughts?
Do we want to talk a little bit about the market that you were just at, Adam? Like, close it out with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how you got into that?
Well, we kind of snuck into, so in Southern California they have this big like SoCal plant group on Facebook, and I am in that group because I have some friends in SoCal, and yeah, I'm just in the group, and they were talking about like wanting vendors for this sale swap. So there's 2 different plant groups in like SoCal. There's one in San Diego specifically, and one in Southern California. That's like Los Angeles, Long Beach, all of that. And they do monthly events, which I think is great. And I know that BP before pandemic, there were other, like Minneapolis had a group that was doing events and all of this stuff. And it's something that I hope more and more people bring back, especially people who live in bigger cities who can do that. But anyway, they do a monthly swap/sale, and this was like going to be the last one of the year, where they invite vendors to come and sell. And it was a small vendor fee. This can change drastically by how you do that, but they have a nursery there that has like this really big parking lot area. So they asked the nursery, they're like, sure, you can do this. We had to pay a vendor fee for like a 10 by 10 booth. And then we just brought plants there and sold them. And then there was also people who brought plants to swap for like there was a whole section for plant swap. Again, I wasn't the one setting up this whole thing. It would be a lot to do, but it's, I think, worth it. It was such a cool event. There were a lot of people selling plants. There was like a boba vendor. There was a girl who made these freaking adorable bear pots, ceramic bear pots.
Oh, I saw one of those.
Yeah.
So
and she was selling it for
cute.
$35. So I bought one. And as she was wrapping it up, I'm like, by the way, you can charge more for that. Don't charge.
Oh my God.
Don't charge me
Yeah.
more, but you should definitely charge more. Plant Dosage was there. Angela, I bought some earrings.
She messaged me and told me.
I brought some earrings for her because I was at her booth and she's like, "You're Becca's friend, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I was like, "I remember when you gave her the first pair of earrings you gave her because I was at her house and I was like, these are so cute." And so yeah, that was really kind of cool. Also, people were wearing their De La Plants totes and I took mine, so I was like, "We're tote twins" because I was like carrying mine around.
Oh my
I love it.
Yeah, it was
That's
really
so
fun.
awesome.
That's so cool.
That is a thing of merch that I never see people like wear. Or I never see photos of people with their totes. So I'm like, people receive it, but I never hear anything. And I'm like, do you like it? Like, okay, but clearly they do if they're bringing it to a market. So that makes me feel better.
Yeah, yeah, and of course, like I love mine.
I take mine everywhere,
it's
too.
so handy.
Yeah, it's the best.
But yeah, so
I
I
still
just
have a lot.
head on over to delaplants.com and get orders. They are really cute. I'm not gonna lie. I have all of them.
Yeah, they're
They are.
beautiful.
But yeah, so the vendor thing was new to me. You can have a little sign for like your PayPal, a little sign for your Venmo, or if you take cash, it's that kind of sucks. But a little barcode that someone can sign, they just pay you like that. You sell some plants for some money, spend it at that market. Like it's really simple and it doesn't have to be anything stressful. It's just fun.
And the marketing behind it is probably really simple because you have all these vendors. Like the event is blasting it on social media, but then you have all these vendors that are sharing about it. So it's just like all this genuine free marketing, and like you meet so many new people that way. Like I think it's just so cool.
Yeah, so if you're like a type A kind of person, a planner, and you want to like do something like this in your city, because there's like it doesn't have to be just plants.
Yeah.
Like I said, there was boba there was people making pots, there was like lots of other different things that people were selling, and a lot of
just
people
like a handmade market.
yeah, and then you just made a lot of friends. I don't know, it was a good vibe, and it reminded me like I like the plant community. Like it's like, okay, these are good people, and like everyone's just like, it's so easy to talk to people, and I'm a shy bird, but yeah.
That's awesome. And what a great way to connect with the community. And I want to say, if you are doing this often and you're making like a significant amount, I believe it's more than $400 a year, you do have a tax obligation. I just have to say it as a daughter of a CPA. That's not something we're going to go into, but definitely
right now,
be aware.
Possibly, maybe.
Yeah, possibly
Maybe.
in the future. If you guys are interested in that, we could discuss. But money you get like scot-free. What's the phrase? Like just you get to just put this away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely track it so that you're at least aware, like how much are you spending on shipping materials and how much are you actually making. That's two simple things to track, like your cost of your items that you bought. Just save the receipts. That makes it easy. Save the receipts, put it in a box, and just hold on to that because yeah, you might have a small tax obligation. It's probably not going to be much at all, if anything, but just something to be aware of if you're making more than $400 off of this a year. That's all I want to say about it.
Yeah, that's always good to know. And services like like Venmo and PayPal, like they are sending you tax documents. Like they've changed. Things have changed, all right, in the Venmo world. So if you
And Zelle too,
yeah,
right?
so if you're receiving money with one of these P2P, person-to-person products, and it's like a lot over time, you might be receiving a tax document. And if you receive one, you can't just ignore it because they've also sent that same document to the IRS. So the IRS can be like, wait, I have a document for this person, but I didn't get it in this filing. So
Yep. And it's called a 1099. So if you get a 1099 from Venmo or PayPal, especially if you're doing like a business transaction, if you're noting that this is a business transaction, which you should be. I hate to say it. I think you should because you don't want to get in trouble with the IRS. I'm just saying. My mom's a CPA. I'm just saying. You don't want to go down that road. If it's a sale here and there, it's not a big deal. But if you are doing this as like a side hustle, please do it the right way and like don't get yourself in trouble with the IRS. I mean, it's not a pleasant thing, especially if you don't have a professional to like talk to them for you. It's just scary and you don't want to put yourself in that position. So just open up a spreadsheet. That's it.
That's it.
Open up
a dayless spreadsheet.
A dayless spreadsheet. I love a spreadsheet. All right. Google Sheets. If you have a Gmail, it's free. Google Sheets. I use it for everything. I have like 9 vacations planned that I never took, fully planned, daily itineraries. So anyway.
So this means that you're going to put all of Potted Together's tax info together? Sweet. Perfect.
I thought we said you were going to do that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm joking. No, I'm happy to carry that load with you. Anyway, so yeah, well, thank you guys for letting me interview you. This was a informative episode. Ooh, episode 1, very informative.
Oh.
Very, very business-like.
Very serious. I like it. If you guys...
We still had a 30-minute catch-up. Let's not get crazy.
I know. But the actual plant content was 45 minutes. That's pretty good. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. And we're so excited to be back for season 6. If you guys have any like episodes you'd like to hear this season, we still obviously have some open slots because we are us and we don't have the entire season planned out. So if you have anything that you've been wanting to hear, definitely let us know in the comments of this Instagram post. We post on Instagram every week, and we use our post as like a comment board. So follow us over on Instagram at Potted Together to check that out. We have a Patreon where we share bonus episodes every month. It's basically a big chatty party, and it gets a little not safe for work sometimes, and it's very funny. So definitely worth checking out because we're a fun little crew. And we are also all on Instagram on our own. Adam is Not Dude, Nicole is My Clean Leaves, and I am De La Plants. And
that's it.
That's all. Goodbye.
We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you for listening.
Wait.
Check out our website because we also have merch if you're new here. You know, I feel like people in January, they're like, we need to find a new podcast to listen to. So there might be some new people.
That's true.
So head over there too. Our podcast will be linked in the show notes.
Yes. We have some very fun merch. Okay. Also, speaking of show notes, all the links and videos and everything I'll make sure is available so that you guys can reference. Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Gear Patrol calls their new dive watch the best sub-$500 dive watch. Full stop. Men's Health rated them as the most stylish solar watch in the game. Who are we talking about? It's Movement. They're leveling up your gift giving with the sleekest watches you can buy and the biggest deals of the season. Shop 30 to 50% off Movement's innovative California clean watches, jewelry, and accessories with fast free shipping and returns now at mvmt.com. That's mvmt.com.